Okay, so we got Baker Dan coming on at the bottom of the hour. Please call in as early as you can so we can get your calls in our next segment. I want to continue talking about blood cholesterol and blood sugar. They go hand in hand. They're one and the same. You got high blood sugar or you got high blood cholesterol, almost guaranteed you've got a sugar problem. We call it dysglycemia. Dys, D-Y-S, meaning messed up. Glyce, G-L-Y-S, meaning sugar. Emia, E-M-I-A, that always means blood. D-Y-S, G-L-Y-C, E-M-I-A, messed up blood sugar, dysglycemia. And you always want to consider your elevations in blood cholesterol to be an issue of dysglycemia, messed up blood sugar. From a biochemistry perspective, I don't even know if it's possible for messed up elevations in blood cholesterol to even occur unless there is some sort of dysglycemia present. So one of the best ways, actually, I'd probably tell you the single best way to lower cholesterol is not a statin drug, and it's not watching the cholesterol in your diet. It is to pay attention to the consumption of food that throws off your blood sugar. You want to lower your cholesterol, stop eating the foods that throw off your blood sugar. And of course, using sugar metabolizing supplements can also help. Chromium and vanadium are the flagship. They are the heart and soul of any sugar metabolizing nutritional supplement program. Of course, you'll get those in the Sweeties. The Sweeties is like a natural statin drug. It's marketed for sugar, but because of the relationship between sugar, blood sugar, and cholesterol, the Sweeties can be thought of as a natural, non-toxic, no side effect, just beneficial effect, statin-type drug. The B vitamins, incredibly important for blood sugar metabolism. Thiamine, vitamin B1, and niacin stand out for helping the body process sugar. In fact, the body uses thiamine and niacin to process sugar. Niacin is actually part of something called the glucose tolerance factor, or the GTF, which is a complex of chemicals that the body uses to process sugar. So supplementing with niacin can be really, really helpful for lowering blood sugar. And we know that niacin is one of the best anti-cholesterol or cholesterol-lowering supplements you could ever take. There's numerous studies that talk about niacin being just as effective as statin drugs. And that's a vitamin, an essential nutrient, with beneficial effects for your brain, beneficial effects for your skin, beneficial effects for your digestive system, beneficial effects for energy production. Niacin is turned into one of the most important energy compounds, energy complexes in the body, something called NAD. And on top of all that, it helps you lower your cholesterol. BTT, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, is loaded. It's packed with the B vitamins. That may be its most important feature. Certainly the electrolytes are important as well, but the B vitamins, man, B vitamin deficiency, as I was saying yesterday, that could be one of the hidden secret causes of all health issues, given how important B vitamins are and how likely it is that you're deficient if you're not replacing the B vitamins after you go to the bathroom and urinate, because they come right out in your urine. If you're diabetic, and remember, we're all diabetic to some extent, you'd be very wise to use some Beyond Tangy Tangerine after dessert, after sweets, after starchy meals, after bread, after pasta, after potatoes. You know what else? First thing in the morning, your blood sugar tends to be concentrated, or the sugar in your blood tends to be concentrated, especially if you've gone to the bathroom and urinated. BTT, first thing in the morning. Very smart. Be a great idea. Sip on a little BTT first thing in the morning. You may not even need your coffee. I wonder, given the energy production value, how the B vitamins help you make energy, could it be possible that first thing in the morning we feel like crap, we're really tired because we've urinated out our B vitamins and we're deficient? Maybe we don't even need coffee if you use your Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Certainly, it's worth a shot. Thiamine is crazy important for lowering blood sugar. And not coincidentally, niacin, which is the second most or the most important element for lowering blood sugar, on its own, as I say, on its own, can be used to lower blood cholesterol. If you're on a statin drug, get yourself on 200 milligrams of niacin timed release and watch what happens. Stay on it for a couple of weeks. You'll get, of course, a good dose of niacin in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. And then we come to arginine. Love this stuff. Super amino acid. Arginine is a major, major, major building nutrient, anabolic. That means building. It's a major anabolic nutrient. It has a role to play, a very important role to play in sugar processing. It's a major, major actor when it comes to sensitizing the body to insulin. It is a vital, must-have supplement for diabetics and for pre-diabetics. Of course, that also means for folks who have cholesterol, elevated cholesterol, they may benefit as well. Arginine's got anti-aging properties, which are legendary in the world of biochemistry. And then, of course, it should come as no surprise, given arginine's very important role in sugar metabolism, in building chemistry, in anabolism, and in its anti-diabetic properties. It should come as no surprise that arginine is also very important for helping the body process cholesterol. So arginine is also like a natural nutritional statin drug. Look at what we're talking about here. Niacin, natural nutritional statin drug. Thiamine, almost like a natural nutritional statin drug. Chromium, vanadium, natural nutritional statin drug. Arginine, natural nutritional statin drug with no side effects, no toxicity. They're cheap as all get out. You don't have to wait in line at the pharmacy. You certainly don't have to interface with a doctor, and you absolutely don't have to have your liver tested when you use these nutritional supplements. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You are listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We will be back right after this. Don't go away. 866-735-2470 is the phone number for the Brightside Ben phone team. If you want to join the team for a one-time $10 fee, you can start a longevity business, enjoy all the tax benefits associated with having your own business, make some money, and help me in my mission to educate the world about the power and importance of a good nutritional supplement program. Also want to encourage you to check out my blog, pharmacistben.com. And if you're interested in joining our phone conversations, we do them every Sunday, every Sunday at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. The phone number is 559-726-1300, and the participant access code is 455-987-POUND. Got a letter from Kaitlyn Blair. She's 21 years old from Wyoming, Michigan, wherever that is. She says she lives in pain every day. She's got excruciating shooting pain through her whole body. Can you imagine this? Every day, excruciating shooting pains throughout her whole body. There's even times when one whole side of her body goes numb and the other side will have shooting pain. She gets a burning sensation in her hands and feet, cloudy vision, lots of nausea, loud ringing in the ears, and she has a kidney infection too. The doctor said, oh my God, doctors told me I wasn't going to live till the end of summer. Can you imagine? Why would a doctor say something like that? She has Fabry's disease, which is a enzyme deficiency disease. Doctors are refusing to see her. She has no job, no income. If you know anything about the disease and what I could do to help me live my life again, please. You guys, I get these letters all the time. This kid's only 21 years old. Can you imagine what this must be like for this poor gal? All right, here's the deal. If you have any kind of generic, systemic problems that affect the entire body, that are sort of vague and diffuse, and they're not located in any specific target area, the whole body basically, what you have to focus on is general ideas. This is the whole idea of the bright side philosophy. This is what the triangle of disease is. You can't target every single limb, every finger, every toe, every hand, each foot. You can't target the whole body that way. You gotta work with big steps. You gotta go to the root. You can't target each leaf. You gotta go to the root. This is a gal that needs to be looking for her flare-ups. Whenever you have a general painful syndrome like this Kate Marie describes, you want to look for flare-ups. What makes the symptoms flare up? When the symptoms flare up, when you feel all of a sudden more pain, what did you just do? Were you holding your breath? A lack of oxygen can definitely cause shooting pain. Did you eat something? Did you eat something recently, or did you eat something a couple hours before? These are all things that you want to focus on, especially the food connection. Kate Marie needs to really, really be focusing on food. She needs to be focusing on bowel movement problems, gas, bloating, discomfort, heartburn, nausea, queasiness, and then link those up to foods. And then she needs to be focusing on supplements that help the digestive system process foods. Probiotics, the Biolumin Nightly Essence, the Z-Radical, which coats and soothes the digestive system. The supplement, the amino acid supplement glutamine can help. Zinc can help for the digestive system. But certainly avoiding, or at least isolating and then avoiding problem foods is super important. You can use lecithin after meals. Get on the ultimate enzymes from longevity. Use apple cider vinegar. Anything you could do for digestive support or to monitor the digestive system and monitor symptoms that occur after you're eating. This is a first thing you want to do. I'm not saying it's caused by a digestive problem. Anybody out there listening, oh, Ben, one-trick pony, everything's digestion. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that's the first thing you got to clear, you got to eliminate as a suspect. And chances are there's a reason why it's a suspect. Chances are, when you start to correct your digestive problem, if you don't completely eliminate your disease, you're going to dramatically reduce your symptomology. Focus on foods and use digestive supplements. And if you're listening, Kate Marie, I will give you a call, or I'll send you a letter back here sometime today or tomorrow. And you guys, if you're sending me letters or Facebooks, please put your phone number there, because it's very difficult for me to sit down and respond to everybody by writing. Okay, 855-660-4261. Rosie in New York. Welcome to the bright side. Rosie. Rosie.
Yes, hey. I'm here. You can hear
Rosie.
Me?
Yes, ma'am. What's cooking? How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Well, I have two concerns. I have an ACL tear, meniscus tear. That's for me.
Okay.
And then my grandson, he has autism, and he's not talking.
Okay. Autism and a medial meniscus. You said ACL tear and a meniscus tear, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal with the tear. Depending on how bad it is, you may or may not need to have a surgical procedure. I can't tell you. But what you really want to be doing is focusing on keeping inflammation down. That way the body can heal itself. The inflammatory process, when it's chronic, will slow down healing. So it's very important when you tear a ligament, or you hurt your knee or your ankle, or you have any kind of a break or a rip in the body, whether it's a ligament or a muscle or bone, whatever, you got to keep inflammation down. So your most important strategy is, number one, to keep inflammation down so the body can heal itself. That means staying away from foods that mess up the digestive system, because that's the major cause of inflammation in the body. So if you have problems with foods, or maybe you want to look for problems with foods, and again, this is a basic thing that we talk about all the time. Look for issues with your digestive system, link those up to foods, eliminate those foods, and then use nutrients that support the digestive system. As I was talking about Kate Marie, the Biolumin Nightly Essence, the digestive enzymes. The ultimate enzymes have a dual purpose here. Not only will they help you process your foods and reduce inflammation so the body can heal itself, but as it turns out, the ultimate enzymes for longevity can also have their own anti-inflammatory properties. So you want to take maybe 3 ultimate enzymes after meals, wash them down with a little apple cider vinegar or with your meals, and then in the middle of the day on an empty stomach, it's probably a good idea to take 2 or 3 ultimate enzymes as well. You should be on the Healthy Start Pack just to get your basic nutrients. You probably want to be on the glucogel caps as well as the Z-Radical. For all inflammatory issues, that Z-Radical is wonderful. And in addition to the Healthy Start Pack, which includes the essential fatty acids, and essential fatty acids not only are important for the healing process, for helping repair tissue, but they also have their own anti-inflammatory benefits. Make sure you take a little bit extra vitamin C in addition to your Beyond Tangy Tangerine. It's probably a good idea to take some vitamin C with that, and you probably want to use some bone soup. That's for you, Rosie. Now, for your grandson,
the ACL tear, they said the main ligament is severed. So I don't know.
It's severed? Well, if it's severed, you're going to probably have to have that repaired. But even still, everything I just told you will help speed up healing post-surgery. Everything that helps with the inflammatory, right? Everything that helps you with the inflammatory process if you want to heal will also help you with the inflammatory process with the healing that occurs post-surgery. So it's all the same thing. Okay, good. And then for your grandson, autism is always first and foremost a digestive issue. Go get a book called The GAPS Diet, the Gut and Psychology Syndrome Diet. There's a lot, and there's another book called Enzymes and Autism. There's lots and lots and lots and lots of literature that links food intolerances, digestive problems to autism, especially if your grandson is doing what most people do, most kids do anyway. Coca-Cola, sweets, cereals, etc., desserts, all those kinds of things that can throw off gut bacteria, and that can most certainly cause autism. So you want to be sure you take care of the digestive system. Use the Biolumin Nightly Essence, get the kid on fermented foods, and correct his diet in terms of all the crappy food that kids eat. Thanks so much for your call. Appreciate it. Rose on the other line here. Hang tight. We'll take you up. We'll take you up when we come back from a break. We'll also talk to Baker Dan about his book on healing or beating arthritis when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side, and we are coming back right after this. Welcome back to The Bright Side. Got Baker Dan on the line. We'll get to him in just a moment, talking about his book, Beating Arthritis. Real quick, Rose, what's going on? Got to give us about a minute of what you got, what's on your mind there.
Rosie, hello. Hi,
hey, Rose, what's up? I want to get to Baker Dan here.
Brief, okay?
Sure.
This is for an education and entertainment purpose, okay?
Okay.
I have to say that just to protect myself.
Okay.
I have a moral story. I
I have an aunt that she worked as a minister of God, and then she was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. And she mentioned it to me, and I said, I'm going to pray about it. And, later on I called her a few days after, and I called her, how you doing? And she said, so I'm thinking of getting this surgery. And I said, if I were you, I would consider getting a second opinion. Well, what happened? She, and I told her, I do believe that you are healed, that you have been restored from that cancer, that you are free from cancer. But what happened? She went to the doctor, she took his advice, and something happened. She agreed to take the surgery. Once they did the surgery, her thyroid did not have any cancer. She was cancer-free.
That's amazing.
And the lesson is that when we fight, when we're in the journey of recovery, what they don't want us to say, you know what it is, to be healed. We fight diseases at the natural and spiritual level.
Praise God.
And we have a choice to believe or to just allow other people to influence us. And like it happened in this case, she was rid from cancer, and she just did not receive the gift. And
but she didn't have any. She didn't have any cancer. Well, she didn't have any cancer though. That's amazing. That's very, very, very good news. And I'm sorry that she had to lose her thyroid, but still very reassuring to see the power of prayer visibly. See the power of prayer and the power of spirituality. Thank you.
It was very sad for me, but
well, it was visible proof. Visible proof. Visible proof of. Okay, praise God. You too, Rose. Thank you so much. Okay, if you're on hold, I apologize. We're going to take our guest today. I think, guys, you've got to call early so we can get to as many calls as possible. So please call in tomorrow, 855-660-4261. Right now, I want to talk to Baker Dan. Baker Dan is an arthritis sufferer himself. He's learned through his own observations of his body and self-study, as he calls it, that he can reduce and prevent inflammation, and he's got a cookbook that tells you just how to do it in addition to providing tips. And I've seen his book, and it's a very interesting and easy to read book. There's a lot of people who suffer from arthritis, and unnecessarily so. So let's welcome Baker Dan to the bright side. What's up, Baker Dan? How you doing? Good morning.
I'm terrific. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. So you are an arthritis sufferer yourself. How long have you had this? How long have you had arthritis?
Well, I was diagnosed with palindromic rheumatoid arthritis 18 years ago.
Now, what does palindromic mean? Is that like
palindromic means that it comes and goes. Like usually, an outbreak is like 3-4 days. So that's the practical meaning of it.
Have you linked it to anything? I know you're doing food here. Did you link it to any digestive issues or food issues?
Well, what happened is that I realized eventually that it has to do with food, that certain foods cause me inflammation.
How surprising. I'm shocked to hear that.
Yeah, so what I did a cleansing diet, and then I added ingredients one by one until I got into what I call a safe list. And then I stuck to this list, and I started making all of my recipes through this list, only using this list.
How many items on the list, Dan? It was a long list? Or was just
there actually something like 30 items altogether. It's in my books in appendix. It's called Appendix Dan's Safe List.
Okay, so you could live pretty well. You weren't suffering on 30 ingredients, right?
Yeah. What happened is that luckily there are enough ingredients, that I can still have the correct nutrition. So that's lucky, but there are some components that I have to take, like I have to take some supplements because I cannot get them otherwise. So it would be like B12 and vitamin D. And
how about calcium. Fats? How about essential fatty acids or anything like that?
No, but essentially I had to take calcium because my doctor did a blood test and found that I'm deficient, and the same with vitamin D. And with the B12, the issue is that when I was eating fish, I was getting inflammation. So although fish is on my list, I eat very little fish and also meat and poultry. So that's the reason that I have to take a B12. And the idea in my method, essentially, is doing a self-study and medically supervised diet change. And what I found is that people can reduce and prevent the inflammation through this process. And the process is collaborative. What I'm saying is, for that matter, don't take Baker Dan's book or any other book and go by yourself. It's not wise for two reasons. First of all, psychologically, the loneliness of doing it by yourself. And then practically, this way, when you're working with a team, with a doctor or a nutritionist, you have a feedback, so you know what's happening.
So tell me about what is the specifics and exactly what you mean by self-study.
Self-study, the idea is very, very simple. I'll give you an example. If I'm eating a strawberry or beets, after an hour, I can show inflammation. And usually the inflammation is like in my hands. You see redness and the fingers starts to swell, and it's becoming very painful, and the only thing that will take it off, and medication has side effects. So what I did is that I would go and add ingredients one by one, and I see that, and I would wait like 1 day, 2 days. If it's more than usually, if it's more than 2 days and there is no reaction, then I know that the ingredient is safe. So this is the self-study, and I would also write down, whenever I have inflammation, I would jot it down, and I would come back to my doctor and say, hey, I took like this amount of medication this week, or I got inflammation because I ate such and such. So it was a collaborative process, and it took many years, essentially, but, what I'm doing in the book, I'm summarizing the process for the readers, so it will be a much more concise and much easier to use.
I love your idea of simplicity rather than complexity. And I want to tell our listeners, what do you think about eating less? Just not eating as much food, not necessarily eating good food, but eating less food. What's your ideas on that?
Again, the idea is that you have to control what you're eating. And this is why I'm against processed food, because when you get processed food, you have so many ingredients there that you have no idea which is the one that's causing you inflammation.
Right. That's right.
You get a lot of preservatives, you get food coloring, and you have no control. Even if you read the ingredients, and even if the manufacturer is honest and is really telling you what's happening, for you as a customer and for your body as a customer,
you don't really know. Baker Dan, hang on to that thought. I got a couple more things I want to talk about. We got to take a break, okay? So don't go away. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're talking to Baker Dan about his book, Beating Arthritis. We'll be back right after this. I'm Dr. Brett. All right, we're back on the bright side. I am Pharmacist Ben. We're talking to Baker Dan about his book, Beating Arthritis Alternative Cooking. Baker Dan is an arthritis sufferer himself and a baker, so he came up with a way to use food and diet to take care of his arthritis. Baker Dan, before I forget, how can the listeners get a copy of your book if they want?
Well, they can go to Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com and get the book.
Okay, it's Kindle. You have it on Kindle too?
It's also on Kindle, yes, and now it's available on Amazon all over the world.
Okay, and you have a website by any chance?
I have a website called BakerDan.com. They can get the book also over there directly from Baker Dan, especially if they need it in bulk. They can contact me through my email, dan@bakerdan.com, and then they can order it in bulk.
Okay, so we kind of touched on this before we went to our break. Tell us about what you mean by alternative baking or alternative cooking.
Yeah, the idea is very simple. Usually, since food is so essential in our existence, we're thinking about food as a part of festivity. It's a cause of celebration. And my idea is to bring food to its original place, which is to sustain us. So I'm saying, first of all, let the food sustain us, and then do the celebration. So that's the alternative. The idea is simplicity instead of complexity, because a lot of time, when you look at cookbooks, regular cookbooks or cook shows, you see a lot of exotic ingredients, or you see a lot of ingredients. And what I'm saying is that in my approach, it's very, very different. You have to simplify the food for a very simple reason. You have to control the ingredients. Every ingredient that is in a recipe, you have to know that it does not cause you inflammation. So it's a very, very different approach to food.
How about food combining, or ingredient combining, for that matter?
This is fine. Again, alternative cooking and baking doesn't mean that you don't have more than, of course, one ingredient in a recipe. Of course you do.
No. What I mean, Dan, what I meant was, do foods change when you combine them, or do their effects change in your observation when you combine foods?
No,
or when you,
no. I didn't. From my experience, I didn't see a change. No, the only difference. You're right. The only thing I saw a difference is actually with additives or medications, because sometimes a medication can have the same name, but when it is manufactured by different manufacturers, you'll be surprised because of the process. Sometimes you take a medication that is called the same, but it will have different side effects from one manufacturer to another. And that's a big surprise.
All right, so it's got so many really cool recipes here I wanted to talk about. Can you lose weight on this diet, by the way, or by using this cookbook? Did you find that?
Yes, most of the recipes, and I added, on purpose, detailed nutrition facts. Most of the recipes are really easy on the calorie side. And everybody can see, what the essential information, like sodium, sugars, vitamins, carbs, proteins, calcium. So it's really every recipe I took. I took the effort of adding this, and it's extremely important. So essentially, the recipes are really light on the calories, and you can see it also from the ingredients. The ingredients are light.
How complicated are the recipes? Are they bachelor friendly? Are they like you only need 4 dishes or 4 ingredients? Is it something you have to have an expertise in cooking to understand?
That's a wonderful question. The recipes from a technical point of view are very, very simple. It's a very simple cooking and baking. There is only maybe one recipe that requires more of I would say dexterity, or more of experience, but I don't think that actually any of them is truly demanding. So essentially it's very simple cooking, and the ideas are very simple. It's a simple process. Yeah, I'm for simplicity, absolutely.
So I bet this would be great not just for arthritis, but for any kind of inflammation or micro-inflammation, or really for any health condition. Anybody who has a health condition would benefit from these recipes.
You touch a wonderful point. I put arthritis in the title because I personally suffer from arthritis, and also, frankly, because of marketing issues. You want to be focused on a particular niche or particular group. But essentially, I could have put there, beating celiac, or beating diabetes, or beating Crohn's disease, right, or beating any
autoimmune disease, even anything,
exactly, right? Autoimmune, because the idea essentially is to control any inflammation that is related to food. So once you bring the knowledge, your self-knowledge of what ingredients are causing you inflammation, and you combine it with the medical world, with the medical knowledge, you have a very, very powerful tool. So you're absolutely right. I could have written just alternative cooking, but we chose to say beating arthritis, to add this word, just to make it more focused marketing-wise.
How about vegan-friendly? Vegetarian-friendly probably, but how about vegan-friendly?
Oh yes, some of the recipes are, you can call them vegan. Although of course I have meat, poultry, and beef, and I have eggs. But some of the recipes are really vegan friendly. So I see no problem with that. And also, anybody who understands cooking can see that you can take the eggs out. So that's very friendly in this regard. Yeah.
Okay, so you have some really cool recipes here. I'm just going to pick a couple that I found pretty intriguing. Popcorn salad. I've never heard of that. Did you make that? Did you stumble into that accidentally somehow? It spilled some popcorn in your salad, or how did you come up with that?
Ben, I'm laughing because I think that the popcorn salad is like with no fault is the number one recipe that people mention, probably because of the surprise issue.
Yeah.
And the reason I came out with this idea is, again, it has to do with the alternative cooking, that, you want to utilize the ingredients to the maximum. And what I said, since the texture of the popcorn is so wonderful and also the color, why not add it? So if I have it and I can use it, why not add it? So I added, the organic popcorn and the Granny Smith apple and the lettuce and the hash avocado, and voila,
I'm checking that out. But some people have a problem with corn, no? Some people have corn issues.
But again, you can substitute corn, with rice or brown rice.
Okay.
So that's not an issue.
Okay. How much is the book, by the way?
You can always do something. And again, you touched upon a very important point, because the book, for me, the gist of it, the core of it is truly the introduction, the theoretical part that I wrote at the beginning of the book, which is something like 12 pages. And the recipes, from my perspective, they are all examples of what do you do with a restricted diet. What do you do when you have a safe list and you have to work within this safe list? So what I'm showing in the recipes is how you utilize to the maximum the ingredients that you have.
Mm-hmm.
So for instance, if you see the yams and sweet potatoes, you see them like in different, really in different forms. Like you see them as chips, you see them as mashed. You see them in soups. You see them in quiches. You see them in many forms. So, and that's again the idea was with the popcorn. It's not only the popcorn by itself, but you can add it to a salad. I add it as a topping for soup. Why not? Hey, enjoy it.
Very interesting. Everybody loves popcorn. Very interesting. How much is the book, Dan?
That's right.
How much is the book?
The book is the price on the back is $25, but I saw on the web, that it is sold for less. So probably altogether with the shipping, it's $25.
Okay, give out your favorite recipe, and then we'll get your website out, and we'll close out because we got about a minute and a half left.
Actually, the recipe that I'm most proud of, really the most proud of, is light tortillas. And what happened is that the reason I'm so proud of it is because I wanted to develop a recipe that is a tortilla that can be used as a wrap. Now, the mechanical problem was the right ratio between the liquids and the solids. And, so I played with it until I got to the right one. And the recipe is very easy to make.
Baker Dan, Baker Dan, I apologize. We're out of time, my friend. We'll just have to let the listeners purchase the book. Thank you so much, Baker Dan. It sounds wonderful, and I'm looking forward to that popcorn salad, by the way. We're talking to Baker Dan. Thank you. God bless, buddy. Have a beautiful day. We've been talking to Baker Dan about his book, Beating Arthritis. Head over to bakerdan.com, or you can get the book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or Kindle. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We will talk to y'all later, folks. Bye for now.